Have you just started live streaming on Twitch? Or maybe you've been streaming for a while now and you're wondering about starting to put overlays and transitions into your stream to give it that bit more of a professional look. Today I'm going to show you how to use Paint and Sony Vegas to get a more professional look on your stream without the cost of paying a GFX artist. If you haven't got Sony Vegas, there are many videos on YouTube showing you how to get it, so just visit one of them. As you can see below me, I'm using my live stream overlay for this video just to show you what you can make it look like. So let's get cracking. So the first thing we're going to want to do obviously is start by loading up Paint on our computer, and you need to work out what sort of design you want to do. Adjust the size of the page to be roughly the size that you want the banner, so it's going to look something like this. We can adjust it further in OBS once we start to add the overlays into our stream, but for now something similar to this for a banner will do. I've skipped forward here so you can see the finished design. So we're going to want to save that into our pictures folder. We're going to want to do our webcam overlays. So if we go roughly the size of our webcam, mine's quite wide, so it's going to be a little bit more rectangular than normal. Okay, so there we have a simple webcam overlay. I normally just take a little bit out of the middle just to give myself an idea of roughly where I want the size of the webcam, but it will cover this and be a little bit more around the edge just so it's a little bit thinner, so it doesn't take up as much of your stream. So again, we're going to want to save that. So we're going to do one more screen now. This is going to be for our loading screen / transition screen. Right, so as we see now, I've made the loading screen. There is no text on there at the minute. You can add text in Paint, but I prefer to do it in Sony Vegas because there's a few more effects that you can do in Sony Vegas just to make the text look a little bit better. So now we're going to jump over into Sony Vegas. So now we're in Sony Vegas, the first thing we're going to want to do is bring in the loading screen. We don't need to do the webcam unless you want to add text, and we don't need to do the banner. So the first thing I'm going to do is drag this into timeline, and you're going to want here to make sure that your quality is on best full, because that's when we take the image from Sony Vegas, that is going to make it look a lot better. So what we want to do now is simply have that on the timeline. We're going to add in some text. So now I've added my text. I've changed the text to read live soon, so this is going to be my startup page for my live stream. You're going to want to come to the disk up here to save the snapshot. This will be on most Sony Vegas's, has this little bar up here above the preview, so you're just going to want to save that snapshot into your folder. And then if you do any other screens, so you might have one that says back soon, you can add that in and do exactly the same thing. Just save the snapshot into your folder. The transition is just a small video. It's only going to be about 1 second long, and it's just going to be a transition that you edit in Sony Vegas. I generally will just add a little bit of event pan crop. So once we've added our event pan crop, you should have something that looks similar to this, but you can animate it how you like for OBS. Obviously it just depends on your personal preference, and you can mess about with it and see how you get it looking. So then what we're going to want to do is render the video. Okay, so once that's rendered, we're going to want to close down Sony Vegas, and we're going to want to head into OBS. So now we're in OBS, I'm going to show you how to add your new scenes in and apply all the overlays that we've made. So as you can see, I've added my webcam into the top right hand corner as if I was on my live stream. So the first thing you're going to want to do is come to source and add an image. You want to add a new image, and then browse through your folder and find the images that you want to add on. So now we've got them in, we can make them bigger, we can reposition them so they sit where we want them to. For the bar at the bottom, I happen to know that my stream is 16 by 900, so I'm going to go to transform and edit transform, and then as you see it comes up with size here. So if I change that size to 1600, that will change the width to the width of my screen. And then for the webcam overlay, I disable snapping, so I'll come to settings, general, and disable the snap sources. That's going to give me a better movement for my webcam overlay. So now I've got my bar in place, I can add my donations list on there, my donation bar, or my events list, sorry. So now we have 3 scenes. We have our, we'll call it our live streaming scene here. So you would have your gameplay in the background with obviously our overlays that we've made. You have your live soon and you have your back soon scenes there. So now we want to edit the transition. It will give us a new transition. It will look a little bit better. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to this little cog here. If you don't have transitions installed already, that's going to just say global transition and have that selected. So you want to add transition, come to type and change to stinger, and then browse the videos and add your video in. And then make sure on these little dots they are selected. You've selected the one that you've made in Sony Vegas. So now when we click to a new scene, it's going to look something like this, where your transition comes in and it looks a lot better than just fading in and out. It gives you something a little bit more personalized. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found this useful, please subscribe if you want to see more videos like this and other videos on my channel. Remember to follow me on Twitch, the link will be in the description, and I will see you later.